Welcome to From the Porch. I am Shannon Berkelback, and I'm blessed today to be with Mr. Daniel Aaron. Y'all are going to get to meet one of your new neighbors, and so welcome.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit, how long have you been in Waller?
So it's a funny story how we ended up here. So me and my wife are both from Cypress. I grew up in Cypress all my life. There was one night, because we moved from Fairfield, and my wife had this wild idea to come February 2024. It was on a Sunday. She's like, hey, let's go look at the houses, see what you think, this and that. So it's like, at that time I was like, we just refinanced our house, maybe the year before that. I was like, I don't really want to go, but I was like, I want my wife to be happy. So we get in the car, we come out here, and we're looking around the houses, and then we get to this one, we want to see the house we're currently in. And so we went back to get the keys, and then come back and it's the wrong keys. So then we had to drive back again to the front, get the keys, come back, get this and that. So we walk in the house, and then we just fell in love with the house. And she asked me, she's like, well, what do you think? Do you want to make an offer? And I was like, I mean, whatever the preliminary stuff is, we can do. And it was like, we submitted stuff on Sunday, that Sunday. I think by Tuesday we had the approval, and then it was just like steamroll, like everything just fell into place. And the next thing you know, we actually moved in Easter weekend of that year, of March. Yeah, so it was, the Lord works in mysterious ways, and He wanted us to be here because everything just fell into place. And so yeah, we've been here for this Easter. Well, actually this coming weekend, because Easter that time fell on the 30th, I think. And then my birthday's on the 31st of March. So I literally was moving in during Easter / my birthday weekend. So that was pretty interesting. And yeah, we absolutely love it here.
So what is it you love about Waller?
So what I love about Waller is the small town vibe that I've gotten. When we first moved here, even when we were in the process of buying the house, we were like, well, let's go see what the area is around, between here, Prairie View, Hempstead. So we just started getting out and going to different places and meeting people, and I was like shocked by the kindness that I've gotten everywhere we went in all three towns. And it's just like, wow, like everybody is polite, everybody's kind. It doesn't matter what store you go to, what restaurant you go to. I was like, yeah, we're in the right place. This is definitely great.
Yeah, you'll keep running into people. And we ran into each other at campaign forums.
Yeah.
Recently is kind of how we got to know each other. You started getting involved with some politics. You're kind of interested, and we're educating you along the way. And then you decided to run for city council. What caused you to be ready to jump in and get involved that much?
So, the funny thing, it just so happened to be that I was at church one day. I was in the lobby. My wife wasn't able to go. She was under the weather that day. So I took the kids, and we didn't have Sunday school that morning. So I was like, I had to keep the kids. And I was like, there's no way I can take them, because they're both under the age of 5 at the time. And I was like, there's no way I can go in there with these kids. So I sat in the lobby, and there was a couple ladies out there, and one of them is, pretty involved in the county and the city with things. And we were talking about elections and politics and this and that. And she said, did you ever think about running for city council? And I started to chuckle, and I was like, I'm no politician, I don't know anything about it. And she's just telling me, you should check it out. Some different forums coming around, you hear candidates speak and what they talk about, this and that. And so I was like, all right, so I'll give it a shot. And then I started going to them, and then I started thinking more and more about it. And then I was talking to my wife, and then even my wife was like, well, I don't know, this and that would all be in your business. So I was starting to wane toward, maybe I won't do it, because, here I am thinking that I got to be like a lawyer or a business owner. Like I got to have some of these, and I'm just a blue collar worker. And I went to a forum, and I heard a guy speaking that resigned his seat with a big city on their city council. And I got to hear his story, and his story resonated with me because he didn't have a background like I thought you needed to have. So when I talked to him afterwards, and he shared his story, and I got excited about him. I'm like, well, this guy's the same story as mine. And then I started thinking like, well, why can't I do it? And so I prayed about it. I talked with my wife about it, and talked to my family about it, talked to my friends. I got a lot of different feedback, and everything was just positive from everybody. And so I felt the Lord was just moving me in that direction, and so I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. And so here I am into this election, and I'm looking forward to it. And I've enjoyed everything, and learning the different things that go about it, and meeting the people, and going to the council meetings, and hearing what's going on in the city.
And I've seen your heart of service and your willingness to learn. You like learning, and I think that's the biggest key is, being curious and finding it fascinating to understand budgets and, how decisions are made on different things like the utilities, or there's some complicated procedures, and you have a heart of wanting to answer that and do that for the community, because it's a lot of work to keep up with the information of everything that's going on. We talk about the growth.
Right.
So the growth in Waller, like, what do you see as the concerns? I mean, you see these neighborhoods going in.
Yes. The growth is coming. I know the county judge released that I think we're the second fastest growing county in the country, and I'm like, oh Lord. I think a lot of that growth is probably more geared towards the Katy area of Waller County, but it's coming here with my neighborhood. I know Oakwood I believe was here before. You got Atwater going in behind us. I think there's another neighborhood going in behind Atwater. So you got more and more folks coming in here, and like myself, it's young families and families with children. So my thoughts are two-pronged. One of them is what we're not thinking about is the infrastructure, because currently it's a touchy subject with a lot of folks in the city right now with the gas issue, but getting that corrected, and there's just going to be more and more folks coming in there that are going to need gas, because all homes, just about everything in the homes nowadays runs off gas. The water, understanding, the wells that are needed. I was at one meeting where they were talking about wanting to get sites in the future to start drilling for wells. And then the biggest thing I don't think that I haven't heard anybody talk about is the sewer plant. All our wastewater, I believe that sewer plant that we currently have in Waller is designed to meet what we currently have, but not for the future growth. So that's definitely something that the city's going to have to look at in the future moving forward, because you want to be proactive and get started on something like that now, because you don't want to get to a point where lines are backing up and there's not that infrastructure there to meet what the people need. And the other part is the growth in Waller. I mean, there's still some small businesses here in town. What I'd like to see is more businesses that are geared towards the families. A lot of folks are taking their kids and they want to do things with their kids. They're going to Cypress, or they're going to Brenham or College Station. So you want to try to encourage businesses that cater to families and children to come to Waller and make this place a home.
Yeah, and keep that money here.
Yes.
Because then it'll help us build better roads. So
Yes.
it all piles on top.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice. I heard you talking about your church a little bit. Any more you want to share about your faith? Because that's kind of why we serve, right? Because
Yes.
God gives us the heart to love our neighbor.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit more about your faith.
Yes, the two commandments: love your God with all your heart, and then love your neighbor as you love yourself. I have a servant's heart, and I heard a phrase one time, and it just like stuck with me, and it's if serving is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. And I feel the call to serve, and by serve I mean just you want to be a blessing to others, and you want to help people out, and just do whatever you can when they need help. So the funny story about my church is when we moved here, we were church shopping, I think is the term, and we tried a bunch of different churches. I'd go online and look, and some of them would stream their services, so I'd watch that. And so me and my wife were looking, and we tried one church in town, and it was great. The people were great there. There wasn't a lot of younger children, so that was something real big for my wife and I, is because we want to start children off young, learning about the Lord. And so we decided that maybe we should just keep looking. Maybe God hadn't led us to the right one yet. So a neighbor of ours actually reached out to my wife and invited her to come to the church. And so I had met them before, but she said something about ministry, and when I was thinking, idea of ministry was, okay, these are folks that like go out in the community around the world and preach the gospel. And so that's what I thought he was doing. And then when they're like, no, we have a church in town, like you should come check us out. And so me and my wife decided, so we went down 2920 and down to Real Life Waller. And we went inside there. It's a very modest church with wonderful people. Kids were there, so that was a big thing. So we're checking all the boxes off, and everything is checking the boxes off for my wife. And then I'm hearing the pastor speak, and I just fell in love with it because I'd never seen a pastor, preach the way he does. Just such raw emotion. I've seen this man cry because he's so compassionate and passionate about what he speaks about when he preaches the gospel. So I told my wife, I think this is where it's supposed to be, and the Lord called us here, and we immediately plugged in, and I mean, volunteering for everything there. So you'll see me there. I volunteer in the children's ministry, helping teach, and then we got a lot of different events coming up, and then yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yes.
Any other thoughts about, Waller and our community? And I mean, what are some other ways, I guess, that you get plugged in the community besides church and kids? So we got involved with looking at events that were going on around the city. We went to the Extravaganza thing last year. We'll be at that one this year. Last Christmas, my wife decided that she wanted to put on a parade in the neighborhood, and so it was a very modest thing. But we had the chief of police come out, and we had a fire truck out, and we had folks come out and decorate their golf carts. We even had some small children and their little I don't even know what they called them Power Wheels when I was a kid, but I don't know what they call them now. But they were in the parade, and so it was a very small, modest thing, but it was able to get everybody out and meet the public. So we're trying to do things like that. And then when we hear about other businesses and events going on in the city, we try to share that with folks through social media. Nice, yeah. It's nice kind of having the neighborhoods. I mean, I grew up in the country where your neighbors, not that close, that you can't just have little parades and parties all the time, street parties. So that is one thing about these neighborhoods, that y'all do stay a little bit more connected.
Yes.
Because of that, y'all have Facebook pages where everybody's sharing different things going on, so that's great. Because, as we're growing, sometimes some of us get disconnected because of that growth, because it's just too many new people. But that is one good thing that we can say about the neighborhoods, is that they get to know each other.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So cool. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about your story so that people could get to know you, because we would love for them to go vote for you. I think that's May 2nd is the election for the city council.
Yes, so May 2nd is the general election. Early voting is April 20th through April 28th. Seeing the past numbers from the past elections, most people are geared towards the early voting side, but I'm good with early voting and the day of election as well. So.
Okay. Yeah. So if y'all want your voice heard, please go vote. This is for the people that live in the city of Waller, which is several of these new neighborhoods, is a lot of new voters. So please get involved, get educated on who's running in this race, and please subscribe and share this with your friends so that they can get to know Daniel Aaron. Thank you, guys.